It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Alright, so I've been wanting to make this video for a couple weeks, and I'm glad I'm finally getting to it because this video is something I feel the boxing world needs to hear. Because I cover a lot of fighters on this channel. A lot of fighters. Some of them I think are overrated and I think they're hype jobs. Some of the fighters you guys think are great, I think are hype jobs. Just being honest. And I get really excited when I get a chance to talk about a fighter that I feel truthfully is not only is he a great fighter, not only is he a pound fighter, but with each passing victory, he's making his case for the Hall of Fame. And that is none other than the amazing boy himself, Kenshiro Teraji. Now, about 2 weeks ago, Kenshiro picked up a nice 9th round knockout victory over a former world champion, multiple-time world champion, and South Africa's very own Hecky Butler. It was yet another display of that boxer-puncher style. You know, we talk that term gets thrown around so much in boxing. This guy's a boxer puncher, that guy's a boxer puncher, but Kenshiro really is one of boxing's prototypical boxer punches at this moment in time, right? So that fight was significant, right? Because that fight marked the 11th title defense in his career. And I made a community post about this 2 weeks ago. So if you pay attention to my community post, you may remember me posting a list. I got so curious seeing that he had so many career title defenses over 2 different title reigns that I wanted to see what I stacked up. So I spent like 3 hours looking at every fighter in boxing's amount of career title defenses to see where he stacked up, because I knew 11 was up there. I didn't know how up there it was, but I knew it had to be up there. And it ranks 5th among all active fighters. So here's the order for those of you who don't know. Kazuto Ioka currently has the most world title defenses in boxing with 16, which is absolutely amazing. Nobody ever talks about Ioka, but of course he's Japanese. They don't really hype him up here in America like that. Fair enough. Number 2 is Terence Crawford at 15. Tied with him at 15 is Nayoa Inoue, and Canelo Alvarez this past weekend against Jermell Charlo, he just tied Terence Crawford and Nayoa Inoue with 15 title defenses as well. Just below those three is Roman Gonzalez with 13, and just below Roman Gonzalez is Kenshiro with 11. So there's a 3-way tie for second place, and that would place Kenshiro 4th in boxing amongst all active fighters for world title defenses. And that's why I'm saying that right there alone, I mean, he has more. Unless you're Ioka, Crawford, Inoue, Canelo, or Chocolatito Gonzalez, Kenshiro has made more title defenses in his career than you have. And when you factor in, right, it's not just the title defenses. It's great to defend your title, but the level of performances. Has Kenshiro given us any moments? Has he given us anything to really remember him by? Because I've been saying this for a number of years. Is boxing, obviously, it's great to win fights. It's great to be have accomplishments and go undisputed. But boxing's also, it's show business with blood. And when a fighter hangs up his gloves and the career is done, and 10, 20 years down the road, we reflect back on the fighter's career, the main thing we remember is the moments they left us with in the ring. And Kenshiro, I feel, has given us a lot of special moments in the ring. I mean, I go back to just a couple years ago. He got knocked out in a fight he was supposed to win against Masamichi Ibuki. A lot of people thought his career would be done. Comes back the next fight, beats the crap out of Ibuki and stops him in 3 rounds. I think about, early in his career when he fought the guys like Milan Melindo and put on a great exhibition of boxing skills before he knocked him out. Same thing goes when he beat Pedro Guevara in a close fight, and Gangi Lopez, and he's done so many great things in that boxing ring. But I think nothing has and will ever top what we saw just this past last year against Hirota Kayaguchi. If you've never seen Kenshiro versus Hirota Kayaguchi, I would highly advise you to go watch that fight, because I don't believe in anything such as perfection. But if you ever wanted to see a performance where a fighter put together boxing skills, defense, punching power, speed, IQ. If you ever wanted to see all those things be put together in its perfect form, that fight, you know, along with fights like Crawford versus Spence and Inoue versus Fulton and Jai Opetaia recently against Jordan Thompson, it's on that level of performance, and he did it against another young, prime, undefeated champion, right? So, and it was a big rivalry fight in Japan, so there was a lot on the line. Obviously, Kenshiro is not done. He still needs to. He still got some big fights to be had in his career. Obviously, the Jonathan Gonzalez unification is a fight that will be big for his career. The Svenati Nochinga fight, the other South African fighter, I feel like that's the fight where really that has to be the one that if he wins it, it should really put him in the Hall of Fame, because it's a younger fighter in his prime, bigger fighter, younger fighter, dangerous puncher. That's the kind of fight. If he wins it, you got to really look at this guy in a different light. Obviously, he could also go to 112 and challenge the likes of Sonny Edwards and Bam Rodriguez, which I know are possibilities as well. So the finishing touches are still to be put in his career, and maybe, just maybe, the best is quite yet to come. But when I look at boxing, right, when I look at the current landscape of boxing, and I see some of these guys that you, the boxing fans, like to put on the pound list and put on this pedestal, and even put in the Hall of Fame before they even accomplished a third of what Kenshiro has already accomplished, I sit there and I laugh and I get disgusted. So is Kenshiro a Hall of Famer at this point in time? I would say he's right there. I would say, if I had a vote, I would say yes, because I feel like he's shown longevity and himself to be a high-level performer in an era where a lot of guys don't have longevity. A lot of guys don't prove themselves to be high-level performers for a long period of time. Kenshiro Teraji has been in great fights, memorable fights, Fight of the Year candidates, has had big knockouts, has had 2 different title reigns, has shown that he can get knocked out and come back, which ultimately I feel when you're a fighter in this sport, you don't get judged on what you do when you're winning, but how do you respond from a loss? And he's responded from his loss to Masamichi Ibuki with how many, 4 straight knockouts? 4 straight knockouts against, top competition. So obviously there's more to be done, but, it's already bad enough he doesn't get put on the pound list, right? By a lot of people. He gets widely ignored a lot. I already feel like he should be on the pound list, and he should have been on the pound list. And I genuinely feel like it's not even, he's one of the few fighters in boxing where fuck a pound list, to hell with a pound list. With every fight he wins against a notable opponent, it's time to talk about the Hall of Famer Kenshiro Teraji. So I think he's gonna be a Hall of Famer. I think when his career is said and done, he will be a Hall of Famer. I think he's going to get some of these wins I'm talking about. Like, if he fights Jonathan Gonzalez, I think he's going to beat him. Svenati Nochinga is kind of a fight where I don't know if he's going to be able to win that one. And I'll talk more about that later on. But, yeah. Kenshiro is Hall of Fame caliber in terms of skills, in terms of the story of his career, in terms of what he's come back from, in terms of his title reigns, in terms of, just being a factor in the sport. I mean, I know we talk about Nayoa Inoue, and he's definitely leading the charge for all Japanese fighters, no doubt about it. But apart from Nayoa Inoue, what fighter from Japan has really made any noise in the States? Obviously Kenshiro hasn't fought in the States, but he's been one of the few guys that Top Rank has consistently, going all the way back to like 2017, 2018. They've consistently picked up his cards, the right to his fights, and televised him here in the States. They wouldn't do that if he wasn't worth watching, right? So in that regard, he has made not quite the splash Inoue has made in America and in the worldwide, but still made his own splash in his own regards. So I just think in so many ways he's heading towards a Hall of Fame career. But I'd like to hear from you guys. What do you guys think? Is Kenshiro a Hall of Famer? And if he's not right now, do you think he will do enough with the fights I'm telling you about to become a Hall of Famer? And if those fights aren't enough, then you tell me, what does Kenshiro Teraji need to do to become a Hall of Famer? Because I've seen fighters who haven't done what he's done in boxing, not beat the fighters he's beaten, not have the performances he's had, get in for a lot less. And I'm going to leave it at that. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just from dang it. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. We're here at the Hatanaka Boxing Gym in Nagoya, Japan. And for more great videos just like this one, make sure you guys click right here.